Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. All sorts of regular people, like me and like you, believe that XRP is absolutely going to be worth a fortune compared to what it is worth right now. But regular people like you and I, we're not the only ones that think that XRP is going to rocket and hit a new all-time high and melt faces. No. There are plenty of financial professionals the world over that also believe it makes sense. And so lots of stuff that we are discussing in this community and that lots of chart analysts in crypto are discussing about XRP are also accepted as correct by financial professionals the world over. And I'm going to give you a great example. And so if anything, I would hope at a minimum you find it interesting and also, I would think, a bit reassuring, because it's not just us. We're not taking crazy pills here. Yes, I know XRP hasn't hit a new all-time high in almost 7 years, but sometimes it can take a really long time for an asset to hit a new all-time high, especially when it hit its all-time high last time. In the case of XRP, it went from the bottom to the top of the cycle 80,000% upwards. So yes, a little bit of consolidation, plus there's that attack from the SEC. But there's a CEO from an investment firm, and he says, no. And I'll show you the exact words a little bit later on in the video, but he says, no, this isn't going to be some sort of small movement. This is going to be a very large one. And he cites all sorts of stuff that all sorts of analysts that I follow have been saying. It sounds strikingly similar. And he's a CEO of an investment firm. He was actually speaking on live television on the floor of a stock exchange. So no, it's not just you and it's not just me. We're not taking crazy pills. And it's true, we don't know for sure what's going to happen. But, like, read what has been going on. Like, if you're paying attention, then it shouldn't be surprising that so many of us believe that what is most likely is that we do have a dramatic move to the upside for the price of XRP, even though technically none of us know. So sit tight, and I'm going to share with you all the specifics. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Quick mention from Bitcoin, because I see recently all sorts of posts about what levels Bitcoin needs to hit before we see a move to the upside, which is important to us as XRP holders, because XRP ain't going to hit a new all-time high by itself. It never has. Maybe it never will. But, you know, it is the case that markets rally in tandem. It's true of the stock market, and it's true of the crypto market. And I still do believe, and I believe this back in 2017 and 2018, even when I was new in crypto, I do believe that in the future, individual cryptocurrencies will be parsed to a more sufficient level so that they're actually judged on their own merits and whether or not they're actually solving problems. But it's early enough on in the existence of crypto, even after 15 years, that it's not clear which cryptocurrencies are going to be winners or losers. Now, for some it's more clear than others. Bitcoin's been considered a winner. XRP clearly has, or else it wouldn't have been in the top 10 coins by market cap. For over a decade, its entire existence. There are some. And fine, even winners can become losers, okay. But what I'm saying is, in a more mature asset class, you wouldn't quite see this degree of samey movements. You know, you actually, because you don't see that in the stock market. Yes, at times of a greater liquidity, yeah, it's rising tide lifts all boats. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying, if there's a company that's complete crap, even in that environment, people are going to sniff that out. With cryptocurrencies, sometimes people can't sniff that out. It's too early on even now. So that part will change, but it's still the case that a rising tide lifts all boats. That's just unquestionably the case in my mind. So as far as Bitcoin, what do we need to be watching for? Well, there's this post from 360 Trading. It says, Bitcoin getting so much closer, not to external liquidity above the highs. $65,000 is nice, but the dynamite starts above $70,000. If I was a bear, I'd be very nervous. This liquidity will be taken soon. And so he's optimistic that we are going to be seeing a notable move to the upside. And it's interesting that he also cited, hey, $65,000 is nice, because I've seen a lot of analysts say that's the level that's, once it's taken, you know, if it's not just going to bounce off that resistance, once that's taken and it becomes important, then that's when we take off. So a bit of discrepancy, but he says it's an important level. He's just saying that in his estimation anyway, 70,000 is better. Either way, I keep seeing roughly these numbers spouted by all sorts of analysts when they're talking about Bitcoin. But what about our altcoins? We care more about altcoins, right? Because we're not idiot sticks. We understand that investing in crypto, especially if you're jumping in today, you're not going to get rich investing in Bitcoin. If you're going to get rich and you don't bungle this thing, because let's be real, we all could, and we are our own worst enemies when it comes to investing. But if you're going to make it, it's going to be because of altcoins like XRP and all sorts of others, assuming they do indeed take off if there's an alt season, right? And so here we have a chart titled Bitcoin Altcoin Cycle. And so in the light gray in the background, that's the price of Bitcoin. And then if you look at what's in red, that's when the market's kind of geared towards alt activity. And then in the blue would be more towards Bitcoin. And then if it's closer to in between, then, you know. But here's what Nijin Tropic had to say. Now, Nijin Tropic, this account is run by the co-founders of Glassnode on-chain analytics firm, which of course does fantastic work. And here's what they had to say. Altcoins have followed the bullish momentum of Bitcoin. It seems that we are on the verge of an altcoin season. We are bound to experience it intensely once Bitcoin breaks its all-time high and enters uncharted territory. Well, yeah, I mean, it only stands to reason that, especially based on historic precedent, if Bitcoin does that, yeah, you do see alts take off. And they did label this. So what they're showing here is like, here's the time. If you're looking at the screen, you can see what I'm talking about. In March and April this year, alts were kind of hot. Okay, fair enough. They labeled that as alt season. So their chart is showing what they want it to show. I kind of want to nitpick with them over calling that alt season. Maybe it should be something more along the lines of times when alt's showing strength, and then just find a way to condense that down word-wise so that it's not as mouthy. But, you know, calling that an alt season, that has a different meaning in the world of crypto. So maybe I'm just nitpicking, but I think I'm right on that. They should call it something else. But even so, this is indicating those types of signs of strength. And they're just saying that we are getting to that point where you should expect that to be making a return here. And I'm also seeing that from a lot of analysts. Here's a post from Chart Analyst Mustache. He shared this with his 135,100 followers on X. This is the crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin and ETH. This chart is called Total 3. Hashtag altcoins. Total 3 has just ended the downtrend after 6 months. The second macro leg will be biblical, in my opinion. And I am seeing that from a ton of analysts. Like, here's another analyst I actually do follow, Bobby A. And he responded to that. He saw it also, and he said, on the brink. So he firmly agrees with this. I keep seeing that stuff. But I do like to share opinions that are at odds with one another. And so I'm going to share with you this perspective from Dr. Magic. Now, he is a bull, mind you, and he's a major XRP bull. He's skeptical that this is the moment it's going to break, but don't worry, he says, even if this isn't the moment, it's still coming. So he also shared the Total 3 chart, so it's everything except for Bitcoin and ETH. And he wrote, I'm seeing some posts about Total 3 breaking out. You know how bullish I am, and especially on alts, but I don't see a breakout just yet. On balance, volume hasn't broke out either, and we are at a significant resistance. I'm in favor of a short-term correction here. If anything changes, I will update this post. Okay, well, I can live with that. I'm still firmly in the camp, or if it's like twist my arm, I have to tell you what I think is most probable. I'm in the camp of we go up. I think Bitcoin hits a new all-time high, leads the market. I'm not going to make a price prediction. And then I think that altcoins, including XRP, are ultimately going to follow. And I think that this is going to happen in tandem with the stock market, and that what's most probable is we see expansion in terms of breadth in the markets, so the Russell 2000 as well. And that's my for fun guess. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But and that's possible. But I do think that's more probable than not, based on tons of reasons I've been sharing as the months have passed. Here's a headline from the Crypto Basic, and I was talking about this at the outset of the video. XRP could be classified differently, says TokenTusk CEO at Germany Stock Exchange. And there are some key parts of this I want to share. I don't want to read the whole article to you. Now, as far as the part about XRP being classified differently, he was speaking specifically because of the use case of XRP as a bridge currency. That's how Ripple's positioning it. And he does recognize the importance of that, as do I, and I'm sure pretty much all of you, unless you're brand new, I'm sure you recognize that as well. But it's also not the end-all, be-all. XRP is not Ripple and vice versa. XRP has a very large community. There are lots of developers building all sorts of things. Ripple just happens to be arguably the most famous within the XRP ecosystem, and that makes sense, and that's fine. And I appreciate what they're doing, but it's not all dependent on them. XRP, broadly speaking, is great for payments. It just works. It's one of the most liquid coins on the entire damn planet, thanks to having an early mover advantage. And so I do think all of that matters. But just to be clear, as far as it being classified different, well, I mean, I just think that the way people are looking at it, even on an enterprise level, is it's a coin that helps facilitate payments easily. Whether you're using it on layer 1, or you're using technology that's built on top of that, like RippleNet, either way, it helps facilitate quicker payments. And that was the intent. The developers of XRP, they were trying to build a better Bitcoin. They're early Bitcoin developers themselves, in fact. And they just thought that, broadly speaking, and David Schwartz has said this, they just thought that, broadly speaking, it would be good for payments, even though they didn't know exactly what it might be used for if adopted in the future. Because back then it was worth $0.00, and they couldn't have known that it would be successful to this degree. It was literally worth $0.00. They're like, I don't know, maybe it'd be good for payments, something like that. They're just having fun building stuff, I just think it's a cool story. But as far as XRP rocketing up, let's talk about that. Because again, like I said at the outset of the video, you ain't taking crazy pills. And it's true that none of us know what's going to happen with XRP price. And I never want to pretend to be someone I'm not, which is why I'm straight up always acknowledging I'm not some sort of guru. There are all sorts of fake crypto gurus all over the internet. And for me, they're easy to spot. Maybe you guys can sniff them out too. But anytime I come across them, I'm like, oh, it's just so disingenuous. You're not some pro. You're like in your mom's basement eating ham and cheese Hot Pockets. Like, just stop it. Just stop it. No. Just be a real human, and then maybe people might gravitate towards you. But don't pretend you're some sort of financial guru. So anyway, I despise that stuff so much. That's why I talk about it from time to time. So anyway, I'm a dude on the internet. I happen to have a YouTube channel. I'm not special. I'm opinionated, and I understand some very basic things, which is why I have had success in crypto on a personal level for myself. But I'm not doing advanced stuff here. I'm doing very simple stuff. I just buy, and then I don't do anything. I just hold, and I let time do the heavy lifting. It's the same way that I treat my investments in the stock market. That's pretty much it. But all that to say, it's not just you and me that understand XRP makes sense. It is people who actually are professionals that have recognized, yes, it makes sense from a fundamental perspective, and also, holy freaking hell, the charts look hot. And so the individual here is, here's this guy. I can show you. This is the website. That's him. It's Oliver Michel, Chief Executive Officer at Tokentus. That's who's referenced. And so he said what I'm about to share with you, he shared on live television on the floor of the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. And so this was translated. But anyway, piece reads as follows. Oliver argued that XRP could soon be classified differently compared to other digital assets. And he said, quote, XRP is positioned differently in the world of cryptocurrencies, end quote. And I'll just pause and note, since he was referencing what Ripple is doing, yeah, that is a bit different. I understand that there's Jack Muller's strike and they're trying to position Bitcoin for something similar, to use it as a bridge currency. Although even then, it's been a while since I looked into this, but if I'm not mistaken, I thought that they were trying to have the exit currency not be in fiat, but I could have sworn it was like in Tether, if I'm not mistaken. Don't take that as gospel. I'd have to look it up again, but I could have sworn. Either way, that part's kind of similar. But in terms of finding success, Ripple is the most successful in positioning any cryptocurrency as a bridge currency, and it's actually used literally on a daily basis in enterprise grade software. So I get what he's saying. I got the cut of his jib. I don't want to tear it apart too much. Do you guys hear that? I have to mention that. I'm assuming the mic is picking this up. That is my pet peeve. She's having doggy dreams. The mic's picking that up, right? Okay. I assume it is, but I couldn't just not acknowledge that. So my dog, as I'm recording, she's my little 9-year-old terrier mix, sweet little doggy. I named her Peeve. She's my pet peeve. She's almost always under my desk when I record, almost 100%. And you wouldn't know this, but because she's under this, but almost one, and she's quiet, not always, but almost always. But she is under my desk for almost every single video I've ever recorded over the years. And right now, she's under the desk, and she's by my feet, and she is sleeping. She's very cute. So anyway, that's what you heard. Sorry for the disturbance there. That was so rude. That's my pet peeve. That's so rude. Okay, so anyway, here's what the piece said after that, though. Said, meanwhile, what has also caught his attention amid Ripple's development is XRP's recent price movement. He cited the formation of a wedge pattern on the XRP chart, stressing it is an infrequent occurrence. And he said, quote, "We rarely see such a large wedge, and we're currently at the tip of it," end quote. Folks, that is exactly what every XRP chart analyst that I follow has been pointing out for months on end at this point. It is true. And here we have somebody that's actually in the world of finance, a CEO at an investment firm, and he's like, yeah, look at this damn chart, bitch. It's a wedge, and we're getting to the apex of it. And typically, almost always, in fact, and I'm not a chart guy, but even I know this, before you get to the apex, you see a break to the upside or the downside. So then you have to ask yourself, if it's going to break, which direction? Well, we're in a bull market, so I'm going to hazard a guess that it will be up when it finally breaks. But the wedge, my God, it goes back to the all-time high. And since then, you've been having higher lows and lower highs. It's just been consolidating in terms of range. That's a wedge. He sees it. It's not just crazy internet people drawing lines on a screen trying to get likes and stuff. I mean, some people do that. But the analysts I follow, I find to be reputable. And if they give me a reason to not think that they're reputable, then I'll stop following them. And that has happened from time to time. Not usually. There've been a couple, few, whatever, over the years. I mean, I've been in the space almost 7 years, so yeah. But he's seen the same thing that everybody else has seen. You are not nuts for thinking this makes sense. Peeve continues. Furthermore, Oliver noted that in recent weeks, XRP has shown signs of decoupling from the movements of Bitcoin and Ethereum, exhibiting what he described as a nervous twitch. Okay, if you want to call it that, I mean, short-term decoupling, okay, but when you say decoupling, the gripe I have about that is when you hear decoupling, people have this idea that XRP is going to go on some sort of utility run, or now it doesn't matter what the rest of the asset class does. That's not true. It still matters. It all matters. XRP is going to continue to move based on liquidity cycles. That's when the retail money comes in and additional institutional funds. That's not changing. But I understand that what he's saying, because the truth is, and I keep hammering this point home in recent videos, XRP has been outperforming Bitcoin and ETH. So it can look like XRP's decoupling. It's just over a shorter time frame, a little over 3 months. So that part is true. I just don't like really characterizing it as decoupling, because the ideas that come along with that are not ideas that I want people to think is what I'm trying to communicate. So the fact that that word's being used, I'm like, okay, I know what you mean, but it's not what other people are necessarily going to think you mean. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say there. But it's true. XRP has absolutely already been outperforming. And then the piece continues. In parallel, he noted that, unlike its traditionally sluggish behavior, XRP is now showing an increase in trading volumes, signaling something larger may be brewing. In his words, this is a quote from the CEO of this investment firm. He says, quote, "This is not just a small movement. It's a very large one. And the pressure that's been building up over the years could be released disproportionately," end quote. So euphemistically stated, but true, right? Disproportionately, yeah. You mean it's gonna rocket to the moon? Is that what you mean? Is that what you mean, CEO of Tokentus? Is that what you mean? Because that would be pretty damn disproportionate, and I think that's what we're all hoping for here. But yes, with the degree to which it's been consolidating, I'll not be surprised to see another massive, massive, massive run. And we will see. But again, if you think XRP makes sense, it's not just you, it's not just me, and the other untold number. I don't know how many people are in our community, but maybe in the millions even. It's not just us here that hold it on the pleb level, if you will. It is the people. It's also the people who actually have finance careers. Just take it for what it's worth. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.